Welcome to your weekly reading. Let me share the cards with you. First of all, we have the Ace of Rods. We've had quite a few aces show up recently. And then these next two showed up last week. The Fool. I think they're trying to tell us something. And the Hierophant. Now, with the Hierophant, I wanted to know what was going on there. So I pulled a couple of clarifiers. The first one is the Lover's card. And then we have the second clarifier, the Ten of Swords. So let's have a look. Now, the Ace of Wands or Rods. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we had the Ace of Cups. Aces are about new starts, new beginnings. It's a seed being planted. It's the promise of new things to come, doors opening up. Now, with a wand or a rod, yes, it can relate to your work, so business and enterprise, your job, your career, training, but it can also be anything that you're really inspired by and uplifted by. It has a very, like the wands, has a very buzzy, it's a fire energy. So it's motivation, it's drive, it's ambition, it's anything that excites you and uplifts you and gets you going, basically. Now, for me as a reader, I also find the wand or rod can be a link to your purpose, a link to what's important to your heart and soul, your life's work, your life's mission. So, new starts, new beginnings, new opportunities. It might be that you've been on the path a little while, but something changes, something's new. There's a new perspective, a new level that you can go to with one of those things. Now, yes, of course, it can come knocking on the door and it can land in your lap, absolutely. But these can be more subtle things as well. So keep that in mind. It might be an answer to something, or you overhear something, and it's an idea for a business that kind of, you didn't realise, but it's all of your dreams come true. Or you go on holiday and you realise you love that country and you feel so at home and you want to live there. It could be anything. It just could be one thing that opens a door for you, and it uplifts you and excites you and motivates you and drives you. And yeah, it's just brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Now, with this, there is a connection to the universe and the divine and fate and destiny, as though it was always meant to be this way. We were just trying to get a way for you to look at this or look at this person or look over there or go over there. Us, the universe, were trying to do that. And now you can see it. Now you can understand how incredible it's going to be. Now you can understand it's going to be an incredible opportunity. So yeah, look out for all of that. It's filled, these weeks absolutely filled with opportunities. Not just the traditional, here's a promotion or here's a job, although it can be, but other things as well. Opportunities to see things differently, live differently, perceive things differently, live in a different way. There's just all this thing opening up. And this is what the Fool is. It's a new adventure. It's a new chance. It's a door opening for you. It's a path showing up right in front of you. Something maybe that you hadn't even thought about. Or first glance, you might think, no, that's not for me. Now, maybe it is for you. Maybe it is the right thing. It's going to free you up emotionally. This is what this does as well. It allows you to let go of that baggage. We talked about that last week. Just put all of the old stuff behind you and travel lightly. I love this card because it's a new start, but it's a new start with liberation and freedom. Wonderful. Now, the Hierophant, we said this last week, but just to recap, it could be you, if I think about the Clarifiers, this is for a lot of you trying to sort things out, trying to still integrate the energies, think about who you are, what you want to do, you know, for the rest of the duration, who you want to be, what sort of work you want to do, what friends you want in your life, what partners you want, you know, really trying to sort it all out and defining it for yourself rather than allowing life just happening to you. You actually thinking about, no, proactively, what do I want? Because this time period is all about us setting up and creating our own heaven on earth. You know, the door has been opened and it's for us to define, it's us to create, it's us to mould and build and pull together. So some of you are still in that process. You're trying to understand it all. You're trying to understand it. Now there is, I was just going to go on to the Clarifiers, but they are reminding me about what we said last week, where some of you need to be out there almost like teaching and sharing your gifts, and maybe not just teaching as such, but sharing your talent, sharing your gifts, sharing your download, sharing your creations, sharing your inspiration, all of that. And in that way, you kind of teach, whether you're an artist, whether, you know, because, you know, an artist can change someone's emotion, can change someone's energy, can change someone's perception. So it's about thinking how what you can do, what you love doing, how you can share it with the world to help the world. And some of you are still working through that, and that's absolutely fine. Now, the Clarifiers, if you're still trying to search for meaning in all of this, are these two. First of all, the Lovers card, this one here. And now, if that's the case, this is about you making choices and decisions that are more in line with your genius, with your magnificence, with your power, with your talents. You know, don't be what they're saying at the universe. What my angels and guides are saying is, you don't want to be just bumping along the road, acting in, I mean, I'm going to refer to it again. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. The Gay Hendricks talks about zones of genius, zone of competence, zone of excellence, and all of that sort of stuff. And it makes a really good point that most of us spend all of our life in our zone of excellence or our zone of competence. We're doing something, it's all right, but, you know, we're quite good at it, but it doesn't fill us up. And do you remember that Ace of Cups we had the other week? This is about doing things that fill you up. They are unique to you and you have a unique way of doing it. So for many of you, this is about absolutely like having that courage to push through, to making decisions around that, making some choices, coming also, the Lovers, coming back to yourself, your higher self. What does your soul want to do in this lifetime? It wants to have fun. It wants you to share your genius, your talents, your gifts. And also, I think some of you are still trying to make sense of this 10 of Swords, the endings. I say the endings as though they're still happening for people and for me. So we're still processing, we're still integrating, we're still saying goodbye to all of the stuff that's old and coming into alignment with our higher self, our new self. And we're still searching, you know, we're trying to make meaning from it all, and that's okay. So that's what that means. But I do feel for some of you where this is about you sharing your gift, this is saying, look, you know, you have said goodbye to a lot of the things. I know you're still processing, but it's time to make some decisions now. It's time to make some choices in terms of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, what first steps what you're going to take and you're going to make. So that I feel like they're kind of gently pushing us. They keep bringing in all of the messages like this is new, this is different, embrace it, let go of the old, jump into the new. But they're also recognizing that it's a process. We're beings of light, beings of energy, and it is a process of letting go of all of the old and integrating the new. But yeah, very exciting. I hope it's a really good week. Thank you so much for watching.